and thank you so much for joining me today. In today's video I'm scrapping a picture of my daughter when she was just 2 and we had a day at the park with a friend who's a photographer. I wanted to pick out the pinks and greens that you see in this photo from Amelia's top and the green grass behind us. So I'm starting off by stenciling the background using a Vicki Boutin Sweet Rush stencil, and I've gone with worn lipstick and dried marigold as my colours because I think the orange will blend nicely with the pink there. So just choosing some areas to ink with the pink before I go in with the orange, and I wanted to do a space that was bigger than 6 inches wide, so I'm just overlapping the stencil, and then I'm going to swap and go and just check that the photo's not covering all of the mixed media, and then I'll go in with some orange. And I don't really want a square, so I'm trying to take it out in places as well so that we've not just got a block of hearts. And these Distress oxides are absolutely fantastic for doing this sort of blending. The colours aren't completely opaque, so they do layer over one another really nicely, and it doesn't matter if you don't line up your stencil, they just look lovely because it's a random heart pattern. I'm just going in a few more times just to stretch out that shape and make sure it's not too blocky. Add a bit more of the orange, and there we go. And the collection I'm using, you can see to the right hand side, is the 49er Market Spectrum Sherbet, and I've pulled all the pinks and greens out of there, like I say. So once we finish the stenciling, I'll start layering to create a photo map behind. So first of all, my usual technique of putting my photo onto some tissue paper. I didn't want anything as harsh as a photo mat on cardstock. Excuse me, so I thought the tissue paper would work well. So starting off with some of the bigger pieces to create a larger map behind that photo, and then I'll start adding some of the smaller pieces once those are in place. And I'm bearing in mind that I'm using a lot of pinks here, so I'll come in with the greens in a minute. I really like this word, wonder, because she is looking in wonderment. She wasn't quite sure about Kirsty at first, but she quickly got used to her. So just having a look to see what else I can add. And that butterfly brings the green nicely over to the left-hand side of the page. And this is a little pot of bits and pieces I've pulled out, hoping that I'll be able to use. That's a flare badge that we designed at Hey Little Magpie for the Spectrum Sherbet range, one of the hearts. And then I've got some, in that pot I've got some JD3D Print stars, which will make it onto the layout, and some wood veneer pieces from some very old studio calico packs, which we used to stock years ago in the shop. So I know I'm happy with the map that I've got behind the photo, so just sticking those layers down so that they don't go anywhere. And then I can finish with the finer things on the layout. Just deciding where I want this strip to go. But I do want it to draw the eye down to the bottom of the page, so I do have it lower than the photo there. And I want to bring some black in because the photo's got quite a lot of darkness on it. So in a minute you'll see I bring in my stitched washi tape from 49er Market, from the stitched tape collection. I love that tape. I seem to be using it on most layouts at the moment. I think I might get the LA Studio stitched stamp next because that gives the same effect, but the washi tape is just so quick and easy. So just fiddling about and checking that I'm happy with the placement, checking that it's all straight with my T-ruler. And here I am with that washi tape. And it's always this roll. If I could buy this roll, I think I would buy 100. Just perfect for adding just that little bit of black stitching without all the effort of getting the machine out or getting your stamps and blocks out. So using my trusty 25mm foam pads from Sticks 2 that we stock at Hey Little Magpie, just to raise the photo up a little bit. And now that's all stuck down, I'm just going to have a little play around with this embellishment cluster on the left hand corner. I want to try and get some more of these wood veneer in, and I try my hardest but it doesn't work in the end. But the JD3D Print stars do make it, and I love those just for a little addition. Then coming in with this laser cut lace, I think it just adds something at the bottom there. I was really pleased with that. And my obligatory tab for my date. I'm just looking to see what else I can find. And I really like this, You Have My Heart. So it takes me a while to find the placement, but it does go under there eventually. Looking on the video, I quite like it there, but that's not where it ends. It's funny sometimes when you're doing something, you don't see things, and then when you watch the video back, you think, oh, should I have put it there after all? But I do like the overall layout, so it probably was the right place to put it. So just gluing this down with my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. You'll see I use that for most things now. It's just quick and easy. Just checking that lace gets nestled right into position so there aren't any big gaps. Another quick rifle through the bits to see if there's anything else. I start trying but realise that it's fine just the way it is actually. So I'll raise this on a piece of foam tape. Just to give it more prominence so it's the same level as the photo. So that loved piece is from the Spectrum Sherbet chipboard. As I say, this heart is one of ours from Hey Little Magpie, and that hello is just a punched out piece of printed paper that Leanne created for us when we were doing Project Life years ago. And I've still got some punched out in a box, so I reach into those from time to time. I love this wooden bird, and because we're outside I think it suits this layout nicely. I spend hours fiddling and faffing with bits like this, do you? Am I the only one, or does everybody else? I'm so indecisive. I really wanted to get another heart, but it just wasn't right. Tried both the different styles that I've got, but I do apologise if you can hear those church bells. We live close to a church and it's so hot today that I've got the doors and windows open. So that black one just goes there on the chipboard piece. And again, it's just bringing the black in. Like I say, there's quite a lot of black in the photo, so I just want to make sure there's a bit of black on the actual layout itself as well. And a gold star as well, that blends in nicely with the orange that we've used in the background, and it's just showing on that remnant piece at the top of the photo. just handwriting my date, because this was pre my date stamp. And again sticking that on some foam just to raise it up and add some texture there. I hadn't realised that I hadn't stuck that butterfly down, so that needs to be stuck down soon. Find another little arrow that I think, yep, I can add to that bit there. Still messing with this ring, but it doesn't get added. So I think I must glue this down before I forget. I've done that before. I just leave a piece on there thinking that I've glued it down, and then when I go to put it in the page protector it flops off. So foam pad to raise the wings and liquid glue on the spine of the butterfly, the body of the butterfly. Stick it down to the page. And then I just want to add a little bit more black, and I have got a crosses stamp in the Ellie Studio Thankful collection, which I pulled out to use, but because I've got all of these embellishments already down, it would have been difficult, so I'm just doodling some crosses with my black gel pen. And that way you can get them exactly where you want them, and it doesn't matter if you've got texture and bumpiness around you. And now I'm going to fill in the tag holes. So just finding a stranded floss that matches. And at first I think about putting the thread through both the tags. So I'll go through this one first, and then through the second one, and then taking it up as a trail from the butterfly. But when I step back, it just looks awful. It really doesn't suit this style of blocky layout, so I abandoned that. Possibly if I'd used less strands, because I did use all 6 strands on this. If I'd just used 2 or 3 it might have worked, but just trying to loop it round to see how it'll look. But it just looks a mess to me, so I quickly abandoned that idea. So I'm going back to my usual, taking these over the edge on this tag. I'm just going to add a knot because I've just looped it through the hole. And then on this one, I'm going to tuck it down on the side of the tag. Just to make it look neat on the page. Again, just tying a little knot. And here I'm deciding whether it should go that way. But then I think, no, I'll just let it trail down there and tuck it neatly behind. And a dot of glue to keep it in place. And that looks much neater. So just sticking this down on the back with some washi tape. And then I decided to add some journaling onto that little tag at the top. So just very brief, just saying where they were. And then just a dot of glue to keep that knot in place. Around the tag. And I think I'm done, but then I remember one of James's JD3D Print new titles that he's created. So after I've left the layout for a while, I come back in with that. And you'll see that now. So you'll just see me gluing that down again with my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, because it really does glue these down very nicely. And that's the layout done. So thank you so much for joining me again today. I hope to see you again. Please do like and subscribe if you like my videos. It really does help my channel so much when you do that. Thank you. Bye.